Hello there, hello there. So, welcome back. This is the log for the end of week 4. Now, we are officially halfway through the 8-week challenge or 60-day challenge. I have a lot of things to talk about today. I've got a big list, so if I start looking down like this, I have to read off of it because there's too much to talk about. A lot of progress being made, a lot of thoughts. So I'm just putting it out there. And if any of it is interesting to you or you want to talk about it a bit more, or you have questions, just leave it in the comments. So today we're going to be talking about what my plans are for this YouTube channel. I've thought about it a lot. We're going to be talking about getting my first client. Plans I have for kind of new video ideas, and then also what my general purpose is doing this. Like, why am I doing this at all in the first place? Maybe fix the lighting a little bit. There you go, a little bit better. Ooh. So, I guess let's start with the biggest thing I've realized. So, we're several weeks in now. I've been building this copywriting business, and I've realized something very important. So I am doing my best to become a more well-rounded individual. I think I've always been quite introspective and quite thoughtful when it comes to why I do things. I'm not like, what's the word? Level-headed, I guess is the word. So I've always been quite level-headed. That's never been an area I've struggled with. Fitness-wise, I do okay. I mean, I've been working on that a little bit. And then money-wise, like that's the main goal of this challenge, right? Is to create a revenue, online revenue. And so I've realized that the goal of this challenge is not so much just building an online business. It's more like transforming my life and becoming a more well-rounded individual. And this is super important. Now, I've been working out and making progress in that, and I've been quite happy with that. Now I'm making progress in making money too. And I've realized that this is very important to me, and that this challenge itself kind of facilitates my own self-improvement, which is interesting. And especially when you dive into it really deeply. And you don't give yourself any other options. You find a way to succeed, right? You find a way to make progress in almost all areas. So I mentioned this at the beginning of the challenge, and that is that the main thing that will carry me through this is my mindset. And that's 100% true. Like my ability to stay determined, to have a goal, and to try my best to understand what I need to do to achieve it and not quit is pretty much the determining factor about whether or not I'll be successful. And now I'm starting to finally see some feedback from my work. So I've got I've got a first client. I'm getting results in my training regimen, and all these things together, I'm starting to feel like I'm actually doing something now. And it's been a whole month, but I'm happy with it. And that is genuinely what this YouTube channel is about. I've been trying to think about, why I started making videos and why I am doing this. Why am I recording myself right now? And I think that's what it comes down to. I think I want to improve myself. I want to tell a story of my journey to success, and have it documented, right? Wouldn't that be so cool, right? If 5 years from now I'm super successful and I can look back at today and say, hey, this is where I came from. I had almost nothing and built my way up. So that is kind of the story I want to tell, and that is this project. It's more than just a 60-day challenge. It's more of like a part of my life now. It's a project which will likely continue for months and months, and probably years. And that leads us on to the second topic, and that is what are my goals? Like in general, what are my goals here? Looking beyond this challenge, we're at the halfway point. What are my goals here? Well, three things. So I especially want to develop my purpose on this planet. I want to have this very articulated very, very well. I want to really understand what this is. I'm getting closer now. I want a skill, a monetizable skill in business, which I can use to get resources and to put myself out there into the world and be beneficial to other people. And that is writing, marketing. And then thirdly, I want to build a network. I want to build a network of strong, interesting people. And I've already kind of started this. I've met some really interesting people in the last few years, and especially very recently in terms of content creators. But I want to do this more. I think this is really, really important. Finding other people who you share values with and who you identify with, and you can help each other kind of on the way up. I think that's super, super important. And so how am I going to do these things? How am I going to progress these three attributes? Well, when it comes to purpose, I think I'm already doing this. Now, this probably isn't something you can just take from me, just like copy paste and apply to yourself, because I think everyone's purpose is different. Everyone's purpose is unique. And some of you may be even thinking, like, what the hell is he talking about? What is purpose? Well, good question. Purpose, as I understand it, is a source of meaning. It is a combination of your talents, what you like to do, what you want to do, what you were put here to do. Combination of all these things. And it is the thing that you gain the most satisfaction and enjoyment from. It's not just like a Epicurean like dream. It's not just what you get pleasure from. It's what you get meaning from. Now, for a lot of people, this is, looking after your family, providing for people, things like this, which is a part of my purpose, of course. But oftentimes, your purpose can be bigger than that. Let's say you're a painter, right? You're an artist. Your purpose may be to create the best piece of artwork that you've ever done, or to change the world in some way with your art, or to share your message, to express yourself through your art. If you're an engineer, your purpose may be to help people design and make functioning models of whatever it is they want to build. So someone has the idea and you come along and you make it happen. And that's your purpose. Your purpose is to take someone's idea and put it in the real world. And that really gives you a good sense of satisfaction. In my case, I think my purpose is to teach. Now, I know this because I used to be a teacher, and I was an English teacher for a few years. And I gained a lot of satisfaction from that. I really enjoyed that. However, I realized that I'm not here to teach English, right? I enjoy teaching and I enjoy helping people understand complicated things and explaining things simply. I've always gained a lot of satisfaction from communicating, as I am now. But it's not just a matter of explaining languages. I think that's I felt like I was being limited in my capacity. What I want to teach is I want to teach everything. I want to teach everything which I achieve in my life to other people. Not just English, right? That's what I gain a lot of purpose from. I love spending time with people younger than me and really helping them. Like, especially right now, it's like young guys, age like 16 to 21. I've been talking to a lot of these guys recently, and I feel like I want to help them because I feel like today is a tough time to be a young man. We don't have these kind of strong role models around us anymore to show us what to do. If you weren't fortunate enough to have a very good father, very strong father, then you don't have someone to explain to you exactly how the world works and what you should be focusing on. Now, there are some role models emerging right now, but they're not particularly popular. And sorry, low battery. They're not particularly popular. And I think while they're successful in some areas, like, make money, grind, hustle, this kind of stuff, there's a lack of guidance when it comes to spirituality, purpose, and like finding your meaning on this planet. And while I don't necessarily think I'm the best person to teach that right now, I do think that 5, 10 years from now, that would be something that I would do. And this is how YouTube kind of ties into this, because if I document my life and show all of my achievements, so becoming a professional writer, building a business, maybe converting that into an agency, becoming monetarily successful, then having a family, then doing all these great things which used to be what men did, right? Men just did those things. If I show myself on the way up, maybe 3, 4, 5 years from now, I'll have a story to tell. And hopefully it's a story which inspires people. And that this really lights a fire in my belly. So in terms of purpose, that is my purpose. My purpose is to be an example. And that is a very high standard I'm setting for myself, but I'm down for it. In terms of a skill, I've decided to go with copywriting because I've always liked writing. And marketing really appeals to me. It's part psychology, it's part sales, it's part writing, it's part helping people solve problems. So the means through which I'll achieve my purpose is through building a marketing business, and I'm doing that right now. And in terms of network, I want to surround myself with people who I actually care about and people who want the best for me, and I want to want the best for them too. I feel like it's really hard to find, high quality people, so to speak, in your normal life. That's not a diss on anyone. I'm just saying that most people don't care about that. Most people just want to be comfortable, have their 9 to 5 job, be a corporate slave, and just kind of exist. I'm not trying to do that here. I am trying to make money, but I'm trying to do a bit more than that. So I'd like to find people on my wavelength. If you're watching this and you want to get in contact, please do. You can message me on Instagram or on Twitter. And I'd love to have a conversation because I think it's so important to meet people who are like yourself, or who want to be like, or people who you want to be like. And it's never been harder to find people. So that's another thing I want to do. I want to network. I want to meet people, perhaps even invite them on the YouTube channel and talk about stuff. So in the spirit of the purpose of this channel, which is to provide a path for people who are not sure what to do. So today, yeah, this week's log is very very abstract, very philosophical, but hey, I'm a little bit like that. Okay, let's talk about the challenge itself. So yeah, I found a first client. Great. The reason I'm not jumping up and down and super happy is because I kind of cheated. I found it through my network, which I already have. I was speaking to a friend of mine He's very successful in the finance world, and I'm helping him write a report. Um, and Yeah, it's going pretty well. We're about halfway through right now. It is a writing job. I am being paid for it quite well, and I'm enjoying it. It's quite fun, and because it's with someone who I already know, we have the rapport already there. We have the trust there, so it is an experience. It is an experience writing, and I think probably next week I'll have a lot more to say about it because we've only just started. But I am not considering this challenge completed yet because I did not find this client through cold outreach, which will be my primary method of finding people right now. It's not a marketing job necessarily. It's not copywriting. It's more kind of technical writing. So while it is technically a successful client, I have found my first client. It is a successful job done. It is not what I set out to do. So we're going to continue the challenge. I still have another 4 weeks to find my first copywriting client. But I think I'll let you know what happens with this job because it's still relevant, right? It's not like finding work through your network is like a bad thing or anything. It's not cheating. It's just I already knew this person before I started this challenge. So the goal really here is to find someone fresh, find someone who I didn't really know before, because I want this to be doable for anyone watching. And I want to provide some value, which isn't just, oh, have a network and get and find work. So we're continuing the challenge. Technically the challenge is already done, right? But we're going to continue because I want it to be done from scratch. So a few things to talk about. This is the first writing job I've done, so there are a few points to talk about. I made a video yesterday talking about the difficulty with balancing work, clients' work, and my own work, and that is a big problem. I need to be able to get the client's work done in the day and then also do my own work, whether it's like making videos on here or doing some work for the business. It's quite hard to kind of juggle those. I'll find myself just doing only client work one day and then only my own work on another day. And that's not really how, I don't think that's sustainable. And it's made me think about my business model. And perhaps it is right for me to look for contractors or people to bring into the team or create a team, so to speak, for this business. So if I'm going to get clients in the future who are paying decently, I'll be able to afford to outsource the prospecting, let's say, or the sales process or part of the sales process. And then all I have to do is the writing. That might be something to look into. And eventually I can hire writers and then it will become a business. And I'll be the owner of the business, managing things from a top-down perspective. This is kind of what they talk about in the E-Myth. Very, very good book. I highly recommend. If you're looking to start a business, you need to have the right perspective about what you're trying to do. Because right now it's not a business. Right now it's a freelancing project. But perhaps it is right to turn it into a business and really be an entrepreneur. I'm juggling with these thoughts in my mind, not sure where to go, but we will see. I'm sure by the end of this project, I'll understand whether I want to be a freelancer or an entrepreneur. If I want to be an entrepreneur, I'll have to start looking for members to start a team. So we'll see. I'll keep you updated on that. Another thing is scope creep. So we agreed on the terms of the we didn't have a contract. We're friends. We have that kind of level of trust. But one thing is we tried to agree on the scope of the project. And I'm slowly realizing that it's a bit bigger than I thought it would be. And so the amount I asked for I'm still happy with it. I'm still very happy with, but I could see how if you don't keep this in check, it's quite possible for, if you don't have a contract, for the scope of the project to slowly increase as you're working. And when you don't have that experience, you don't have that ability to make a judgment. You'll end up doing way more work than you thought you would have to do. So I don't want to make this mistake in the future. I think in the future, I'll make sure I write a contract and I'll say, I'll do this much work. I'll do this many words. The deadline will be this day. And if it's not done by then, despite me working 5-6 hours a day on the project, then we'll have to talk about extra payment, because I think I get it now that a lot of clients don't really understand how to, or what is involved in the writing process. And it is my job and responsibility to inform them about that so we can make a fair deal there. Now, I'm quite happy with my current project. It is also my first project, so I'm not going to be too anal about how much I'm being paid. But I'm still happy with the amount I'm being paid. And I've learned a lesson too, that in the future we should make a formal agreement beforehand about the scope of the project before we agree. So that's a lesson I've learned there. Maybe you can take something from that. Okay, and then final thing, because it's getting really long. Ideas for videos. So I do like making these videos. It's helpful for me to kind of review my thoughts. I can just kind of get everything out there. But I would like to make other content on this channel because of, well, the reasons that I've said about the purpose of this channel and my purpose on this channel, which is to educate, to provide context for someone actually in the trenches, right, of building a business and of creating a life in this world. And so there are two ideas that I've had. One is to bring other people onto the channel who I know and who I've met and who I think are interesting people. So I could create a new segment on the channel where I interview someone online or in person, and we chat and have a conversation, because honestly, I have some really interesting conversations kind of off air, and I kind of wish they were on air, to be honest. I've met a lot of interesting people over the last few years, and I think the world would benefit from those conversations, because we have some really interesting conversations about money, about finance, about business, about self-improvement, and all these things, writing even. So I think I might start bringing people on the channel. If you are listening to this and you're interested in that, let me know, and maybe we can make it happen. The second thing is I'd like to start making videos about self-improvement specifically, because I think I've identified a problem in the self-improvement space. I've touched on this before. I started making some shorts, some YouTube shorts about it, pissing some people off, which I thought was funny. And that is that I feel like young guys especially, but people too, are obsessed with self-improvement right now. Like, it's like their holy grail, it's like their cult, like their little religion. And the moment you say anything bad about it, that self-improvement is not an end in and of itself, and that it's not the only thing you're put here to do. You're not here to just, groom yourself and be pretty. As soon as I say this, people get their pitchforks out. So I want to provide a balanced perspective when it comes to self-improvement. I think there's a lot to say about graduating self-improvement, about moving beyond it and really thinking about your purpose, rather than just working out and eating healthy. Everyone already knows you should be doing that anyway. So I made a short saying self-improvement is for losers. I thought it was funny. I like poking the bee's nest. the point is not to make fun of people who want to improve themselves, right? Clearly. I mean, I am one of those people. I like self-improvement. The point is that when you're no longer a loser, self-improvement ceases to provide meaning to you. You know, when you first start self-improvement, you're usually in a pretty rough position and you're like, hey, I want to improve myself. Great. Go and do it. But once you've kind of improved yourself, you're doing all right. Like I'm starting to enter this phase of my life now where I feel confident and I can, I have some experience and I'm not like a kid anymore. Self-improvement takes a back seat in my life, and fulfilling my purpose takes the front seat. And having a family and things like this becomes more important to me. And I think there's a natural progression there. I think that's normal. I think it's right. I think you're outgrowing certain aspects of self-improvement. Of course, I'll continue to exercise and work out. Got to get my muscles and everything, but but the idea like, oh yeah, go do cold showers every day, and why? I'm already doing everything I should be doing. What's the point? So I'd like to make a few videos about that, about graduating self-improvement. What comes next? Right? Once you're already doing all the right things and you're on the way up, what should you be thinking about? And I think the answer is thinking 10, 20 years ahead. You should be thinking of creating a strategy for your life. Life is very much a game. Life is very much a game of chess. And you need to position yourself a few moves ahead. If all you're thinking about is becoming disciplined and having a nice body and all this, like, that's not going to last forever. One day you're going to have to come up with something else to do, or you're just going to burn out. I'm going through this phase now, and so I want to share my thoughts about that. And so I think I'll create a little mini series about that. Maybe some videos you can expect in the coming weeks. I think that's about it. This is probably the longest video I've ever made, but yeah, I've been feeling pretty philosophical the last week. So there it is. I'll see you again in a week's time. You can expect some more videos coming in the future and some more annoying shorts to poke people. And yeah, I'll see you around, guys. Thanks for tuning in.